Just in, Letitia James. Do you remember who this is, Di? That is the prosecutor in New York who is trying to sue Trump in the civil case where they allege that he fraudulently expanded the value of his Mar-a-Lago property as the collateral. I'm not sure what the right word is for a loan that he took out, which of course would have gotten him better rates.
Yes, I regularly remember this.
Yeah, the banks that he took the loan from say, no, actually Trump is a really valuable customer. He didn't exaggerate anything, and we don't want to press charges. We don't want to do this civil lawsuit. So there's no victim. But Letitia James is pursuing it, and they've put on a bond of $450 million, which is probably the maximum they could possibly add. An appeals court has reduced that to $175 million. Which is better, but still ridiculously high. And for quite a while now, and very much ahead of the normal schedule, the New York authorities, Letitia James specifically, have been trying to seize Trump's property to account for this bond money, which is not really how bonds work, as far as I understand. So it is just very thinly veiled tyranny and suspension of property rights to attack Trump because he has properties in a blue state. And that's a slightly biased version of events, chat, but I think you'll probably agree that I'm on the money there. Let's continue. Just in, Letitia James poised to begin seizing Trump's properties. Attorney General Letitia James is poised to begin seizing Trump's properties as an insurance company will not be permitted to post a $175 million bond for Trump while he appeals a fraud judgment. So there's some interpretation to be made here, and maybe I've missed something here, but what it sounds like is that a company which wants to pay Trump's bond is not allowed to. And so they're going to start seizing his property instead. It's so corrupt. Knight Specialty Insurance is currently
transparent.
Yes, this is very transparent. Is currently unable to post the bond on Trump's behalf, attorney Dave Kingman noted. Dave Kingman for Knight Specialty, very good. According to Kingman, as a consequence, New York Attorney General Letitia James will be empowered to initiate enforcement procedures against Donald Trump's properties. The New York court rejected Knight Specialty's application and requested further information about its financial support. The business submitted new documentation on April 4th. So, like literally a corporation is trying to pay $175 million to Trump. We don't know what for, like what Trump's doing in return. I don't know if he's promised them something, but it might genuinely be that the person who runs it is wealthy. Maybe their company is worth a few billion, and they want to support someone they think is better for their own business and better for the country in general. It might be that noble. It could be less noble than that, but it's still good. They're still doing the right thing. But they're being blocked from doing so, which belies the intention of the state, where this whole thing from the beginning was probably a plan to try and steal Trump's property, just to make it harder for him to do anything. So Trump must post the $175 million bond to prevent Letitia James from initiating enforcement procedures after a court fined the former president $454 million in February for illegally, quote unquote, inflating the worth of his assets. Now, bear in mind that I may get the numbers wrong, especially because I'm tipsy, but Trump's property, New York valued at $18 million. Bear in mind that there are significantly smaller properties owned by people who aren't former presidents right next to Trump's property, which are worth $80 million. And they valued his at 18. So no, his is probably worth what he said, which is I think it's like 180 million. What he said it was a decent number, but if anything, he may have undervalued it. So, and the banks certainly seem to agree. So this, in case it wasn't bloody clear, this is all transparent tyranny. This is lawfare.
Anyone with a brain knows what they're trying to do. They just they want to get him in any way possible, either to punish him or cripple him at any way.
Yes.
Like if they just take a bunch of his money away, maybe he won't have enough to do the campaign, or like just punishment, whatever they want to do.
I expect that's their main goal.
They want to dude. They could just want to kill him or lock him up, but they can't. So they're doing everything else. I think they're
willing to go that far, but they want to try everything else first.
Yeah. I'm gonna grab a drink. Sorry, I'll be right back.
No worries. The $454 million is roughly the suspected size of the war chest Trump had for the campaign. And yes, I think their main objective, or their initial objective, was to try and just eat that. But now that certainly the appeals happened. Now they just want to take his property so that it punishes him and discourages others from doing the same thing. They might hurt themselves more than they expect, though. New York might have a significant downtick in investment after this. Then again, do they care? I don't think so. I don't think the people running this establishment care much about maintaining the prosperity of their nation. They, as individuals, want to get rich off it, and then they move somewhere that doesn't matter. When they're old and out of it, they're all psychopaths. That's how they operate. After a court fined the former president $454 million, Donald Trump's exorbitant penalty for the common real estate practice raises serious concerns about selective and vindictive prosecution. It sure does. And there's Letitia James. Chat, you'll be shocked to hear she is a New Yorker and a lawyer and a Democrat. Oh, and whatever else. Yeah, so she's been in the news a lot over the last few years for just repeated instances of incredibly dodgy lawfare. A woman, indeed, Matthias. As you can see, she is unfortunately a woman. Hello, Clover. All right. Yeah, so that's what's happening. So, they may try and actually take Trump Tower, which is in New York. They may try and take other properties of Trump House in New York. I think he may have some. I'll be interested to see who tries to stop them. I'll be very interested to see if any of the police in New York, who actually are generally pretty conservative, disobey. And if you are police in New York, or if you know police in New York, please don't let me act like an expert in your field, but I would urge you to consider that it might be the brave and correct answer to resist this order.